being black raised in Japan is totally different being black in America. The difference, like night and day, the difference. Attitude and character, everything is totally different. What are you doing? How you leave, how you leave Christianity? Why you leave, it's like crazy. He said, Mr. Bennett, he said, I see you're searching for the truth, but have you heard about Malcolm X? I said, Malcolm who? He looked at me, he said, man, how can you be black and not know Malcolm X?
Assalamu alaikum. I am Ahmed Attar and this is Petroly podcast from مختلف. Our guest today is Mr. Hudaifah Al-Amreeki. He is an English teacher and life coach. Enjoy the episode. How do you teacher?
Alhamdulillah, man.
Can you tell me the story behind this picture?
I don't know. Story behind
It's
the picture.
27
I had,
years.
when they did that, I thought they just wanted to do an interview. And but I ended up on the front of the magazine. That was interesting. Shabab magazine was very popular back then too. It's very popular. So, yeah, and it came from. If you look inside, it talks about the show that we did. The show that we did with Channel 2. And it was, at that time, being at the right place at the right time, mashallah, like that, there was a show that came on before my show. It was called Children's Choice. And my kids used to watch Children's Choice. But I was thinking, I said, well, what after? Because Children's Choice, it went up to 10, 11, right? And it stopped. That was the age. And I was thinking, what about after that? So I wrote a proposal and I went to Channel 2. That was just getting in. It was kind of, mashallah, tabarakallah. But once I got in and I spoke to some people, I told them about the idea and they liked it. So I showed them the set that I wanted. They didn't quite understand it, right, at first. Because the set that we had was it looked like a park. It was like a park. And it was a basketball net above me. And I sat on a bench. It was like a park bench. And the boys sat on paint cans. It was very simple set. And I had Fahad Abu Od, that was my director. I lost touch with him. Then again, that was a while ago, right? I lost touch with him. But it was hard to get that mess, because they were into glitter. They wanted the bling. But I just wanted it to be, plain. Because we were talking about problems that teenagers had. Right? And it was the amazing thing about that, bro, was they let us talk about, I talked about everything, bro. We talked about everything. From music to masturbation, girlfriend and boyfriend. We talked about everything. And the only reason why I wore the baseball was the baseball outfit was just to attract the attention. It wasn't, I didn't do about sports. We didn't even talk about, well, yes, we did. We talked about football one time. Captain Magic, he came on the program. We interviewed with him. Magic, what is this? Magic Abdullah. I call him Captain Magic. Captain Magic. Then he was really famous at that time.
But your target to telling a story or had discussion about the teenagers' problem.
Talking about teenagers and the problems that teenagers had, and how
So can we talk about the teenager problem? I think there is a relation problem. Their relationship with the parents.
The parents, yeah.
Also, actually we مختلف platform we focus more about career issues, and there is identity crisis sometime with a teenager. Who am I? Or
back then, it wasn't so much because we're talking about 97. Remember, when the dish came, bro, that's when the difference came. Because the program, we started 97, 98, 99. That's when the dish, you start seeing dishes on people's home. It was still illegal, right? But you start seeing them, and the mutawas were going around with the lasso them and pulling them down. And but the screen, man, it's a fitna for the whole world. The whole thing about the screen, from the television screen to the screen on your cell phone, it's really it's a fitna. And unless we, like they say, money is a very poor master, but a very good servant, right? When money masters you, it can destroy you. But if you're using it for a service, then it's good, because what can we do? I mean, everything takes money. So so I saw the change, and that was the thing that made the program so successful, because it was only channel 1 and channel 2 at that time, right? Because the dish, like I said, the dish didn't come in until like 98, 99, and then it was just, the dish was just everywhere after that. And I seen the change in the people and the change in the attitude. Because I remember, the kids playing football with no, in a thobe. They had the thobe, right? They had the thobe, and they hold the thobe up, or they maybe have it in their mouth, or they hold it up, and they're out there playing with football on stones, right? Right? On stones, right? And barefooted. I was like, wow. I tried it one time. My feet hurt for about a week. I tried it one time, tried to play football with them. But that was before the baseball cap. That was before, rap music, it was just coming out then. The innocence was still there, But then when, then when you got, like, and the television went off at 12 o'clock, then and the television was off. And I know it was like that in America too for a while. In the early 50s, 60s, the early 60s, television in America was you only had 3 channels: ABC, NBC, and CBS. That was it. And television went off at 12 o'clock. But then the cable came in, and then then satellite came in after, of course, after. It changed the people, man. Really changed the people.
I want to go back to your childhood. And after you graduated from high school, did you go directly to the university?
Yes, I did. Yes, alhamdulillah. I was the only one in my family that went to university. I'm grateful to my mother for that. She pushed me. Actually, because she saw me getting into trouble, so she wanted to get me out of the neighborhood. Smart move, alhamdulillah.
Tell me more about your university.
I went to Virginia State University, which is located in, it's 30 minutes south of Richmond. Richmond is the capital. So 30 minutes outside of, going south, outside of Richmond. It was it was a black university. Now I'm going to give I didn't really tell you my age. You can just guess my age from the dates. From the dates I'm telling you, you can just guess my age. Let's see, I graduated from high school in 76. See, but before that, my father was in the service, so we kind of traveled around a lot. I think we spent 2 years in Portugal. He was stationed in Portugal. He was in the Air Force. We stationed in Portugal. Then when we came back, we stayed for, the dates are really a little bit crazy. About 2 or 3 years we stayed. And then he got transferred from there. He went to He went to Vietnam, and he did a year in Vietnam. And when he, alhamdulillah, he came home safe from Vietnam. Then he was transferred to Japan. So we lived in Japan so that was like my early teen years. So we lived in Japan for like 5 years. It was like, when did we go to Japan? We went in 60, 68, 69, 68, 69, went to Japan. And I came back to the States in 75 or 75. So I'm being reintroduced to the American society. Because all my life pretty much was on the compound, when we were in Japan, we're on the compound. When I was in Portugal, we lived in the city when I was in Portugal, but I was really small. I was very small then. But being black raised in Japan is totally different being black in America. The difference, like night and day, the difference. Attitude and character, everything is totally different. So I had to make that change. And just to get off the subject just for a minute, I'm a life coach, and I specialize in youth, also adults, but youth who lived outside of Saudi Arabia for a long time, and then now they come back to Saudi Arabia. Now the transition is not that bad because Saudi Arabia has definitely changed since we're talking about the early 90s, early 200s, 2000s, right? It changed, totally changed. You can see the difference. Yeah, it totally changed. But that transition of being raised in America, being Arab, raised in America, going to public school, living amongst the population, and now their mom and dad finished studying, and now they come back to Saudi Arabia. It's really traumatizing for some, because the kid's like, Daddy, when we going home? Oh, baby, we are home. No, Daddy, when we going back to Missouri? Or when we going back to Arizona? Or when are we going back to Colorado? No, that's home, Daddy. No, baby, we're here. No, Daddy, I want to go home. Right? And trying to readjust. A lot of them don't speak Arabic. They only speak English, which I don't know how that happened, but it happened. And them being told they're Americans. I mean, they're Americans, bro. They come back and they're just trying to adjust,
Did you face that problem with your kids?
Coming back? Well, no, actually, because my children were born here. Alhamdulillah. So I know that my children would face it if they were to go to America, because they only went, I think, out of all 6 of my children, I think they've only been maybe twice. And it was like
so their home is Saudi
Arabia. Yeah, they were born here. My 2 boys, their mother, she passed away, but she was from Mecca, Saudi, and she was from Mecca. And my 2 boys were born in Mustashfa Noor, right? And I used to kid with them, I said, you got the best of both worlds. You got an American passport, and you're born in Mecca. How many Americans can say they were born in Mecca? So I used to joke with them about that. The rest of my family, the rest of the girls were born here in Riyadh, but they only went, like twice. I would take 2 at a time before,
So the life coach solving the young problem.
Yeah, helping them to readjust to coming back, not coming back, to coming to Saudi Arabia. A lot of them, a lot of them were born in America. And then, their parents doing their PhD, say, lived there for 10 years, some 15 years, right? And now they come back and they're trying to readjust. It's slightly traumatizing for some, even for some adults. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They lived in America 10 years, man. 10 years. They did, some of them went for high school, and then they went to university, then their master's, then their PhD. Yeah. 10 years easy, right? 10, 12 years. Easy. And and then they don't really come home, right? They'll stay, travel around America, see America. Yeah, it's a beautiful country, right? People a little bit confused, but it's a beautiful country, really. Especially the thing is you got to get outside the city. When you go out west, subhanAllah. My most favorite place in the world, other than Mecca and Medina, is the Grand Canyon. Really, it must be on your bucket list. Or something that you
What
have
is
to.
special about it?
It's the most beautiful place, Akhi. It's a canyon that was created by a river, and the mountain and the river just carved it down to. It's 3 miles. Well, no, is it 3 miles down and 2 miles across, or is it? It's either the other way. But it's a river that runs through the canyon, that carved its way through the canyon. So it's really the rocks are really beautiful colors. You got orange and red and just really, really beautiful. I remember when I first saw the canyon, I went into sujood because I was saying, Dag, if this canyon is big like this, then what about the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Oof, 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 oof. MashaAllah, subhanAllah, man. Wallahi, ni'ma Islam. Wallahi, wallahi, it's a blessing, And I guess you really don't know it until you really don't feel the blessing. Some people, but really don't really feel the blessing unless you lived the life in the Jahiliyyah and Allah has blessed you to become Muslim. It's like it's like when you're lifting weights, and you got that last rep, it's on your chest and it's real hard to, it's like real heavy to lift, you need someone to spot you to help you. It's like that that breath, That's what it's like when you take Shahada and you can be.
Your comparison in a story.
Yeah, okay. But becoming Muslim, that's a story in itself. But the feeling, where you heard Shadid's talk, right? I don't think I was quite as dramatic as Brother Shadid, but similar, the gang thing, the being tough thing, the being bad thing, um, the being mean thing, the being bad, ooh, I'm bad, uh, Shaitan got him going, boy. He got him going, man. Gangster this, this gangster stuff, Shaitan got him going, boy. Got him going. Had me going for a minute, but I really couldn't fit in. Because of my life in Japan and my coming back to America, I didn't have that character of being mean, of being, like that. I didn't have that character, but trying to make myself like that, it really hurt me inside. And so like when I became Muslim, it was like, oh man, I can be a nice person and not be a chump. I can be a nice person and not worry about, someone laughing at me for being nice. Isn't that something? That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, but that's what it's like. Look at this rap. It's really bad now. With the rap music and all this stuff, it's really bad. But when I was growing up, it was just a thing you did. You joined the gang because you joined the gang for many things, for, acceptance, uh, um, for companionship, just for fitting in, you know. Um, that's the thing you did, that's the thing you did in the neighborhood. You just did that. How you not do that, Um, but alhamdulillah, Islam really saved my life, bro. Really. Alhamdulillah, never. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm kind of skipping around, but I just want to get everything in because I know we only got a little time. I want to fit everything in that I wanted to say. But yeah. So coming back, um, for people coming back and trying to readjust to being here. And we're talking about in the 80s and the 90s. In the 90s, when life was a little bit different here than now. Yeah, life was a little bit different now. Um, Life was really different than now. When I came to Saudi Arabia, man, when I came to Saudi Arabia, um, the ring road stopped at Washington Street. The ring road stopped at Washington Street. That's what King Fahd goes around. It goes around, right? You can ride it all the way around the city, Riyadh, right? But when I came, it stopped at Washington Street. Yeah. The Haram, you could drive around the Haram. I remember I used to visit a friend who lived in Mecca, and we used to go to make salah. He would park his car on the street. He'd park his car. We'd go in the Haram and pray, and then come back out. You know what? You could do that now, right? Mecca's totally changed, and Medina too. Medina's definitely changed. My biggest regret is, although we really couldn't take pictures at those times, but my biggest regret is not taking pictures at that time. It was so beautiful, man. There was outside the Haram. They had before. They used to have the souk was right outside the Haram, so like the gold souk and all this. The stores were all around the outside, right? And there used to be a full place on the corner. And this big fat guy. This guy was big, red hair, and he used to serve full. You know, the most delicious full I've ever had.
This is your first time at Mecca.
Yeah, that was back. Yeah, back in 85, 85, 86. I came here as I graduated from university. I mean, we're talking about university, yeah. Uh, um, I graduated university in high school 76, university 82. I became Muslim in 69. I mean 79, 79. I became Muslim 79. I'll tell you my story how I became Muslim. But 79. And then there was a university, another college that opened up called the American Islamic College in Chicago. So once I graduated um, from Virginia State, I have a degree my degree is in microbiology, and my minor is philosophy, which I changed it once I became Muslim. I took a minor in philosophy. Then I went to this new college that just opened up. It's called the American Islamic College, and I went there for 2 years, and then I started applying. I wanted to come study overseas. I wanted to come to Saudi Arabia. I wanted to go to the Middle East. That was my dream. So I'm writing, filling my papers out. My resume and all my certificates. I'm sending it out to everywhere. I'm sending it everywhere. I sent to Pakistan. I sent it to Iran. I sent it to Iraq. To Kuwait. I mean, to all the universities, man. I just sent it out, because I really wanted to come. And mashallah, I got accepted. I got a scholarship to come to King Saud University. And that was like, that was the first year. They just moved to the new campus out in Daria, where they're at now, where it's at now. Before they were down in Malez, right? That's where the university was at before. It was in Malez. And they had just moved to the new campus, right? And yeah, I got a scholarship, man. It was a blessing. لكي نتكلم لغة عربية بقليل هكذا عشان هذا. I graduated from the Mahad in 89, And I married Asim in 89, alhamdulillah. And then I taught at Manarat Riyadh. Now, Manarat Riyadh was owned by the Faisal family, and it was the first international school in the whole kingdom. They had a branch in Riyadh, and they had a branch in Jeddah. And I taught at the branch here in Riyadh. And I worked there for 3 years. I worked there. And then I got a job at the military hospital, Mustashfa Askari.
As what's his
English teacher. I was just teaching English, man.
So you identify yourself as in the first place as an English teacher or as a life coach?
This is well, I do both, but my main bread, my main salary comes from teaching. I'm teaching at Dome International School now, but from Manarat to the military hospital, I retired from the military hospital. 21 years. I don't know where that went. 21 years just went like that. Right? 2013, I did some just private for like a year, 2 years. Then I got a job at the Arab Open University. And then I taught there to 17. And then 17, I went to Dome. So I've been at Dome ever since. From 17 to what now? To 25.
What is the most beautiful thing about teaching English?
Watching people learn a language, master it, you know, and you help them. You know, it's like, you know, like if you teach someone something, right, as long as they keep using it, you get blessings for it. So teaching English as a second language, you know, it came in handy for me, man. Alhamdulillah. It was a blessing, actually. I mean, I'm surviving on that. And Arabic is so, until now, I'm not really speaking Arabic as fluent as you're speaking English. Right? I'm only like إذا أتكلم معك باللغة العربية يعني بستوعب بسيط يعني لكن أتكلم لغة الفصحى.
Is it because Arabic is much harder?
Oh, ha, ain, dod. The only language in the world that has a dod language.
It's about grammar or the pronunciation?
The grammar and the pronunciation. And the thing is, I don't speak Armia. And that was kind of the problem in my house because my wife, she, you know, it was like
another language.
It was like, you know, it's like she had to speak to me in Fusha, which was hard for her. I didn't realize it was that hard, but it was hard for her to speak to me in Fusha. And because she didn't speak English. So I spoke to her in Fusha, and we managed, you know. It was a shart that she should speak to me in Fusha.
I'm a little bit curious how your marriage story. How did you meet?
That was an interesting story too. My whole life in Saudi Arabia. This is the magical kingdom of Saudi Arabia where the day is very long and time goes by very fast. Yeah, man. Really. Where'd the time go, bro? Where'd the time go, man? I'm telling you, bro. I've been here more than half of my life. More than half of my life I've been here.
MashaAllah.
And it's been good.
Alhamdulillah.
I have no complaints. Not none. Not none, bro. Actually, I met my wife. There's another brother he's American, and I've known him. His name is Uthman Llewellyn. I met him when I first became Muslim in Philadelphia. I mean, I'll tell you my story how I became Muslim, but I'm from Philadelphia. So I met him in Philadelphia, and he, mashallah, he's working Hajj Fatriya, which is the park reserves. He reserves the cultural land and the reserves where the animals to not hunt, for not hunting like this, That's what he's working with. He's working here in Riyadh now. But before, he was working in Mecca for the Hajj Research Center. So I met him in 79 when I first became Muslim. He came to Saudi Arabia in 82, 83. 83, I think he came to Saudi Arabia 83. I came in 85. And he was also married. He when he got here, he married a Saudi also. And she was studying at Qura. And my wife was also studying at Qura. And then I asked, I said, I'm looking for a wife. So that's how I met my wife, through his wife. And
his wife is friend?
Yeah, they were friends at the university. So that's how I met them.
Like arranged marriage, you can.
Well, alhamdulillah. They introduced, I went and that, she asked her, did she wanted to get married? She said yes. So I went, met her family.
So the language wasn't a problem?
Yeah, it was, because I'm speaking Fusha, and she, it's like, it's, I can be talking to someone, ممكن أتكلم معك يعني في لغة الفصحى. الآن نحن نتكلم فوق النص ساعة، وبعد ذلك أنت تقول لماذا أنت ما تتكلم لغة عربية؟ أخي نحن الآن نص ساعة نتكلم معك في لغة عربية. لا 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 لا، لماذا أنت ما تتكلم زي سواك جاء قبل أسبوع، الآن هو يتكلم عربي بيطلق. يجي صديق بكرة بكرة صديق type stuff. I said, no, man. I don't speak that type of Arabic. So I can be talking to someone, it happens so many times. I'm talking and we're speaking Fusha. I'm speaking to them in Fusha, and they turn around and ask me, why don't you speak Arabic? And I'm like, man, what have we been talking for the last hour? We've been talking, and you just now thinking. And it's a challenge. I challenge people. I said, all right, talk to me in Fusha. Let's just talk in Fusha. Let's نتكلم عربي. Let's نتكلم عربي في لغة الفصحى. First 5 minutes, maybe the first 3 minutes, you'll speak Fusha, and the next thing you know, you're speaking Armia. Because it's what you speak. It's the language that you speak. And I just refuse to speak Armia. I wanted to speak Fusha because the Hadith and the Quran is in Fusha. So I wanted to speak Lugat Fusha. And then even though I don't speak very well, but I play with it. So yeah.
I actually want to come back to your Islam.
I'm going all over the place. I know I'm hitting everything. I'm trying to get everything in. Yeah. So yeah. And 79, I went to university I graduated high school in 76. In 79, I got I went on a school project, like a work study program where you work for 6 months, and then you go to school for 6 months, right? So I did that. It's called the NOAA Corps, National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. And what they do is they chart the bottom of the ocean, and that's how the ships navigate, by charts. You have a chart. So this is the Department of the Commerce, Department of America, run just like the Navy. The ship was run like the Navy, like the officers. I was going to be an officer in this organization, and the ship is run, but the crew they're all civilians, but the ship, the commissioned officers, they're officers, and so I did it twice with them. First, I went to New York. That was wild, and we just stayed in the New York area. In that area, we just charting and doing what we're doing, and then I came back, and then the second time I went out, we went to up the Bering Straits, going towards the North Pole. We passed Siberia, going up towards the Arctic, and we're following the gray whale and charting and doing things. And then I'm gonna make this real short. Can I see the book?
Yes.
The book kind of like the book. Actually, this was written. Can you read that? You know what that says?
نعم. العربي
Yeah.
ثم قست قلوبهم
MashaAllah.
من بعد ذلك
MashaAllah. Tabarakallah. Really? You got it. You got it. The guy who did this, his name is Ali Samani. He's Sudani. He's from Sudan. I studied with him a long time, but he's also a calligrapher. And he wrote this. And so I was on the ship and we were up in the ice, see the icebergs and the ice. And this was a ship that I was on, the MacArthur, 357 feet long with a helicopter pad, mashallah. And so anyway, I'm on this ship, right? And I'm officer in training. See, now the officers, they sit in what they call the wardroom, and that's where the officers eat. They eat in the wardroom. That's the central part where you get a chance to see everyone, because we're on different shifts. You know, we work the different shifts on the ship. Captain, man, he was racist, man. I mean, he never ate in the wardroom. I was like, I was crazy. Anyway, so I'm on this ship, right? And I'm at that time I wasn't a Christian anymore. I considered myself a Zen Buddhist. I was kind of looking around, looking for the truth, trying to search for the truth. And the chief engineer, he was a Native American, right? The people call them Indians, but they call themselves Native. They're the first people who were in America before the Europeans came, right? So he was a Native American, and he gave me a book called Siddhartha, which talks about how the Buddha became enlightened. That was a good book. It was by Hermann Hesse, really nice book. So I read that book, and then as I was giving him back the book, he said, "Mr. Bennett," he said, "I see you're searching for the truth, but have you heard about Malcolm X?" I said, "Malcolm who?" He looked at me, he said, "Man, how can you be black and not know Malcolm X?" "How can you be black and not know Malcolm X?" I said, "Man, I'm Mr. Black. What you talking about?" He said, "How could you be black and not know about Malcolm X, man?" So he gave me the Autobiography of Malcolm X. Man, I started reading that book. Oh.
Who is this man?
Oh, man. Let's see. I had a picture of him here. Here. This guy, okay, he's, mashallah, rahmatullahi alayh. He, how can I tell you, bro? He was unique, bro. And, he was relevant during the 60s when the civil rights movement was taking place. You heard about Martin Luther King, right? You heard of Martin Luther King. At the same time, they were at the same time. Malcolm was a Muslim. Martin Luther King was a Christian. And I don't know how I guess being raised in Japan and then coming back and then I don't know how I didn't know about him. I felt bad I didn't know about him, but this man was not Muslim. His name was Engineer Joe Lightfoot. I think his last name was Lightfoot. He introduced me to Islam, bro. He gave me the book. He said, "Take this book, read this book." So I read the Autobiography of Malcolm X. And the transition that he went through, similar, I could relate to a lot of the things that he did, because he was really living in the streets then. He was really, he was doing, talking about gangster. He was really a gangster. He was doing really robbing and selling drugs. And then he got caught, went to prison. And when he went to prison, he discovered a form of Islam. And I'm sure Shadid mentioned it, the Nation of Islam. Well, they're not really Muslims, but they have some flavor of Islam. So he was a part of that group for a while until he left that group. And he made Hajj. in the early 60s. He died in 65. He came and made Hajj in 64, 64 he came and made Hajj. He met Prince Faisal, who he wasn't king then. He was the Minister of Interior, I think, at that time. He met Prince Faisal, and they gave him dawah, and mashallah, he went back. I think he did some serious dawah, mashallah, tabarakallah. He was the cleanest of all of them, actually, really. Out of all of the people who were in this civil rights movement, he was the cleanest, really. No girlfriends, no smoking, no drugs, no girlfriends, mashallah, mashallah. So by the time I got to the part that he made Hajj, I said, okay, this is what I want. I want to become Muslim. And there were no other Muslims on the ship. There were no Muslims on the ship. There was none, yeah. But there was a guy who had a Quran, and I just decided I wanted to become Muslim, man. So that was like in 79. And the first part, we were traveling up towards the Arctic. Then we came back, and we came to Seattle, Washington. And then from Seattle, I went to San Francisco. Now, this is interesting. This is an interesting part. It says that if you take one step towards Allah, Allah will take 2 steps towards you. Yeah. So now, okay, now my intention, right? My intention to meet Muslims. This is what I wanted. I wanted to meet Muslims. Okay. So my intention is that I want to be a Muslim. So it was a Friday, actually. It was a Friday. The executive officer came and picked me up from the airport because I flew from Seattle to San Francisco. I transferred to another ship. Actually, the ship that I served under the two black captains that were in the NOAA Corps. The first one was Captain Tignor in New York, and Captain. He was the second black captain in this corps, so I served under both of them. And so he was stationed. Now there's an island. You've seen the Golden Gate Bridge, right? The Golden Gate Bridge crosses. And if you look at the bottom, there's a Alcatraz, where the prison they closed. It was a really dangerous, notorious prison, Alcatraz. And there's another island called Treasure Island, which is a Navy base. It was a Navy base right off of the bridge. You come off the bridge, right there's a Navy base there, and that's where the ship was docked. So the executive officer came. He picked me up from the airport, showed me my bunk, and he went home. So this is a weekend. Nobody's on the ship. I don't really know nobody. So I decided in the evening, I wanted to go to a jazz club, because in Malcolm's book, he talks about a lot of jazz players being Muslim. So I wanted to go to a jazz club, right? So I get off the ship, and I went to the bus stop, and the bus pulled up, and I asked the bus driver I wanted to go to San Francisco, and it was a woman bus driver at that. She said, "Well, no, you have to cross the street. You're on the wrong side of the street. You have to cross the street." That's what she told me. Because she was going to Oakland, and the other side of the street, the bus was going to San Francisco. So once the bus pulled off, the car pulled up right behind the bus. And this guy, he said, "Can I help you?" And I said, I'm looking for, I said, I want to go to a jazz club. I want to go to San Francisco. I want to go to a jazz club. And he says, "Well, I don't go to jazz clubs because I'm a Muslim." The first person I met, other than the executive officer who picked me up and dropped me off, the first person I met was a Muslim, a Sunni Muslim, mashallah, tabarakallah. His name was Muhammad Abdullah. And he was from Philadelphia, subhanallah. But he's living in California. He was a captain for a security company. They hired security. The Navy base had private security. So he was his job was to go around and make sure that the security officers were still awake and they were doing their duty. So He says, well, come with me. Right? First rule, you don't go, you don't, mom told you, don't ever go out with strangers. You don't just get strangers. But this guy was so nice. So he did his thing. He made his rounds. He took me to his house. And that's another thing. If I don't know you, man, I'm not bringing you to my house, bro. I mean, here, ahlan wa sahlan, tafaddal, they got the tafaddal here, here. It's normal, to invite a stranger to your home. But in America, you don't invite someone you don't know. You don't invite nobody to your home. You go out to the cafe or something like this, but not to your home. This brother invited me to his home, fed me dinner. Then he took me to the masjid. There was a masjid called El Maldudi. This masjid was interesting because they had everybody in this masjid, man. They had the Shiite there, they had the Sunnis there, they had the Tabligh Jamaat. I mean, this masjid, you don't find a masjid like that in America now. You can't find a masjid like that with all these different type of people in the masjid. You can't. And it's an interesting masjid, man. So he took me to the masjid. He made Isha prayer, and I watched him pray. Then he took me back to the ship. He showed me how to get to the masjid whenever I wanted to come, and he gave me bus fare, which I told him I had money. I don't need them. I got money. He said, no, you take this bus fare and you come. So about 2 weeks, I was, between talking to him and going to the masjid, it was August 17th, 79. There was a halakha. They were a group. They were just talking. And the imam said, well, when are you going to take your Shahada? Right? Because I started praying. I learned how to pray, and I thought I was Muslim. He said, when are you going to take your Shahada? I said, Shahada? He said, yeah. When are you going to become Muslim? I said, I am a Muslim. He said, no, you have to take Shahada. So I took my Shahada in 1979. Went back to school. That was a whole different trip. Right? Now, here, this is the way I was dressed before. This is the way I was dressed. Where's the picture? Can you see me?
Yes.
This is the way I was dressed. And this is the group that I belong to. Another organization I belong to. Organizations. Right? This is what I looked like before I went. All right? This is what I looked like when I came back. Wearing the imama, beard, yeah, another picture. Another picture here. So there was another picture. Oh, yes, here. This on the university campus is me hanging out, just.
No jazz club anymore.
No, alhamdulillah. And then this is, so when I came, now this is a small university, people know me from just, they just know me. Then I come back and I'm dressed like in a thobe and a mama, and I'm talking to people about Islam. That was really crazy. People didn't believe it at first. How can you? What are you doing? How you leave? How you leave Christianity? Why you leave? It was like crazy. But alhamdulillah, when I went back, mashallah, Allah blessed. And then it's like you don't wear glasses, so but.
I was.
You were? Okay, tight. Then you know what it's like when you first get your first pair of glasses, everything is just so clear.
Yeah.
Oh man, I started seeing, I met some Saudis that were there. I didn't know they were Saudi. I didn't know they were Muslims. I met some Nigerians. I met some Moroccans. There were a lot of the international community at Virginia State I never noticed them before, because I wasn't into them before. But then I'm seeing all these, I'm saying, man, aren't you Muslim? Yeah, I'm Muslim, but what do you mean, but what's a but? What's it lacking? I was like, no, man, come on. So, mashallah, we got together and we got a place to pray in the union, in the school union, and mashallah, we organized ourselves and we gave out 21 shahadas.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
Yeah, man. I
MashaAllah.
thought that was little. I remember telling one of the imam, I said, "Oh, we only gave out 21 shahadas." He said, 21 shahadas. I said, "Man, that's a little bit." I mean, why, you know? But yeah. So after I graduated in '82, I got accepted to go to the American Islamic College in Chicago. I went there to '85, and then, like I said, I was sending my papers out to everywhere, trying to
So
get
you
to,
came to Saudi Arabia.
and I got the scholarship to come
I
to
want
King's
to
Salman.
actually end the episode by talking about life coaching.
Yes.
What does life coaching mean?
It helps people to align, to bring a balance, right? Because a lot of us we're off balance in our life. You know, we procrastinate things, we change things, we don't do things, not change things. We don't do things like we're supposed to do, what we want to do, because we're still off balance and we're just a little bit confused. So a coach will like help you set your goals, help you get your balance back. That's what coaching does. It helps a person get their balance back, you know, by asking you questions, helping you to solve small problems that you have in order to align yourself with life and to get yourself back on track, which I need to coach myself now. But yeah, that's what, yeah. And I started doing that some time ago now. But my specialty, like I said, my specialty is helping people to readjust who've been outside of Arabia and are now coming back, trying to adjust. You know,
How can our life be balanced?
You know how we tend to put things aside. You know, we start something and we don't complete it, right? So coaching would help you. You sit down, you talk to someone, not in your family, not someone who's yani outside of your circle, to help you to realign yourself, to help you ask yourself questions that you can answer. Once you answer these questions, then you set yourself on goals, on what you want to do and how to complete things that you want to do. That makes sense to you? Yeah. So like all right, you want to be a producer. What are you doing? How bad do you want to be a producer? Between 1 and 10. Tell me how bad you want to be a producer. I want to be a producer 10. 10, okay. Well then what have you done to start your life as a producer? Well, I've read some things and I've done some YouTube. I've learned some stuff on YouTube. All right, but what else have you done? Uh, well, I'm holding that. I'm not quite. I want to do something else. No, but you just said you wanted to be a producer. Now, let's get back on track. Now, you want to be something else, or do you want to be a producer? Now, there's something else that you want to do on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you? Oh, about a 5. But you're at 10 for wanting to be a producer. So how do we get you to get back on track to be the producer? And this is what coaching does. It just helps, you know. You talk.
Interesting.
Yes, you talk back and forth until you get yourself adjusted, and then you become a producer. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. So you teach sort of young people. My last question is, any advice for just graduated a student from high school? He want to great career life.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing that he
Again,
has to know?
Akhi, again, the screen, this AI. Oof. You got cash on you right now, bro? You got 10 reals on you? 100 reals? Card, right? Everything. Yeah. It's dangerous, man. Dangerous, bro.
Why dangerous?
Because as you see the way I'm dressed, I believe in the way of my grandfather, man. Yeah, I believe. I believe in where's my pocket? I believe in the way of my grandfather, man. It's cash and carry, bro. You know, it's like cash and carry. You know, I don't believe in the card. I don't use that card. I don't believe in it. I don't use it.
Right.
Because
Makes your life easier.
no, it doesn't. It makes your life more complicated because then that you keep you you swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe. At the end of the month, how much money you spend, bro? Right? Cash also, right? Because you have 500, you have a 500 real bill, you break it, you know it's gone, right? that too. But you be swiping, you don't think about it, right? Until the end of the month. And you find yourself in the red. You don't, well, what's going on? What did I do? What did I do? But cash, I know how much cash I got in my pocket. I know I can buy this, I can buy this. And once that's gone, the cash is gone, and it's gone. You know what I'm saying? But this is just me. I'm old fashioned. You know, my students, I ask my students that the first thing I ask my students, how many of you guys got cash? No, TJ, cash? No. Cash. Cash. Man, come on, we got the card, Teach. Come on, you gotta have a card. Nah, I believe in the way of my grandfather, man. This is the way I dress the way of my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? I really, the old fashioned way is the way for me. Is the way for me. This AI stuff, Aki, it's off the hook, bro. You tell me. I know you use it. I know you use it, but it's off the hook, and I know the good part about it. I know there's good. There's good in it. Definitely, is good in it. But I think there's more danger in it than there is good. Where is AI going to be? Look at AI just started when? What, 5 years ago? Maybe AI just came out like 5 years. Look at it now. And where do you think AI is going to be in the future, bro? Well, you think it's going to go to sleep? But that's right. Now, I have my boy. I teach literature. I teach literature. All my students must write in a composition book. A composition book is a notebook that it's bound together. You know, the old fashioned one with the black little white dots on the black book, right? It is sewn there. It's bound. You can't tear. Teacher, why do I have to have a composition book? Because that's what I want. That's what I had when I was in high school and I had in university. We had composition books. So I want you to have a composition book, and I want you to write in the No, I can't print. No, because you'll give me AI. I don't want AI. I want from you. Write from you. Write in the composition book. So all homework assignments is done in the composition book. When was the last time you wrote a letter, bro? Wrote a letter. Last time you read a newspaper, bro? When the last time you when's the last time you mailed a letter, bro? Not zipped it, but mailed it. Where'd the time go? Really, Aki, really time just, I don't know, like 80s, I remember, 90s, I got it. 2000s, just, it's a blur to me. And look, we're at 2025 now, bro. It's just a blur to me, really. Things just change so fast. I remember, Aki, when the first cell phone, the big box cell phone, right? It was like, what, it was like 100,000 reals to have one, the box phone. And then then the pager came out, and there was a bunch of telephone booths all over the place. The pager. You probably don't remember the pager. And then after the pager, what happened after the pager? I think after the pager, the first cell phone came out, the Nokia, right? But that was like 10,000 reals to get that. And then it went down to 8,000, and it went down to 4,000. And the BlackBerry came out, I remember I use cassette. I still use cassette player. What's a cassette player, right? You say, what's a cassette player? I still use cassette player. I remember the 8-track. I remember the DVD, right? I remember the VHS and the Beta, right? I remember when the first computers came out, the AT and the XT, AT and XT. I remember when the computer just opened up. I remember when it just opened. Yo, bro, where'd the time go, man? Wow. So what I tell my students now that they have to pick a job that AI cannot take away from them. And that's the thing, you got to think about it. What job can you do that AI is not going to take? And that's what you got. And the students now, they're going to make it. But the students that come after them, actually AI is just, it's incredible, man. Right? I was just looking at this social media thing, and it was it was the people that were doing things, and then at the end, the guy said, we're not real, right? We're just AI, all of us. And there was just different shots, when, it was different shots. You may have seen it before. It was a different shot, this shot, everything was different. And at the end, the guy comes on and says, we're not real. Right. And then Trump with his, fake news is called, what do you call it? Fake news? Yeah, people, you be thinking that it's him because it looks like him and talk like him and sound like him, but it's really not him. It's AI. It's dangerous, though. So I think, but that's just me. Like I said, I'm old fashioned and I'm kind of like stuck in my ways, but I do understand that the computer, the age of the computer, it's not going anywhere. And it's important that we as Muslims learn the technology and master the technology. Because as Mr. Rumsfeld said, if you're not up with us, we're going to leave you behind. If you're not up with the technology, we're going to leave you behind. And I'm behind, but I'm by choice. But I do see the benefit in it. I do see try to master it. It's important that there are people that master this art. Yeah. SubhanAllah.
Thank you for your time.
Yo, bro. Thank you.